Here are the top stories for today, March 16, 2020. The Bureau of Immigration calls on the public to stop spreading misinformation amidst the coronavirus disease 2019 outbreak. PCAO Secretary Martin Andanar mulls the creation of safe house for media workers. The Department of Health sees 80% recovery rate for those who contracted the coronavirus disease. And a mom is anxious about her activist daughter amid the threat of COVID-19. Good day, I'm Rom Dufo. We bring you updates on the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 and other top issues today. Government agencies, including the Bureau of Immigration, call on the public to stop spreading misinformation online amid the rise of COVID-19 cases. This comes after several social media posts claim that flights from China have been continuously arriving in the country despite the implemented travel ban. Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Jaime Morente clarified that some flights to and from China, Hong Kong, Macau, and South Korea still continue to operate as they may carry exempted classes that may fly in and out of the country. Passengers from China, Macau, Hong Kong, and North Gyeongsang Province in South Korea are not allowed to enter the country. However, Filipinos and their spouse or children, foreigners with Philippine permanent resident visas, and members of the diplomatic corps are exempted from the said restriction. Overseas Filipino workers bound from mainland China except Hubei Province and Wuhan City may now depart as recommended by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Disease last March 12, provided that they sign an undertaking stating that they are aware of the risks involved in their travel. OFWs, permanent residents and their dependents, and student visa holders may continue to fly out to Hong Kong, Macau, and North Gyeongsang. In other news, a total of 444 from the MV Grand Princess were brought home today by the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA on board a chartered flight from San Francisco International Airport. The repatriates were received by the team from DFA Home Office in Manila at the Haribon Hangar in Clark Air Base, Pampanga at around 2:15 a.m. on March 16. After landing, all repatriates were transported on chartered buses to the Athletes Village in New Clark City for the 14-day quarantine period under the full medical attention of health professionals from the Department of Health. A total of 78 Filipino crew members volunteered to remain on board to be part of the essential manning of the ship. Meanwhile, the 13 Filipino crew members who tested positive for COVID-19 stayed in the U.S. and were brought to a care facility for treatment. The other 3 Filipino guests disembarked and stayed in the U.S. as they are California residents. The group is the third batch of repatriates that the DFA brought home from COVID-19 affected areas. PCAO Secretary Martin Andanar says safe houses for media should be established, especially for those who are covering the latest developments on COVID-19. During the live broadcast of Cabinet Report radio program, Andanar said every department should provide a safe house for reporters to ensure their safety and continuous coverage. Andanar acknowledged that media practitioners have a crucial role to raise public awareness of COVID-19. WHO representative to the Philippines, Dr. Rabindra Abaya Singh, backed the proposal, saying the plan was a new reality of how to facilitate access to media covering the COVID-19 outbreak. The Philippine Army is one with the police in manning the checkpoints, and NAIA temporarily limits non-passengers in the airport. More on this from Laid Gabagani.
The Philippine Army Disaster Response Units and medical doctors skilled in containing biological threats are on standby and ready to join efforts to halt the spread of the 2019 coronavirus disease. Army spokesperson Colonel Ramon Zagala said the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear unit is equipped with personal protective equipment and mobility assets ready to assist the police in performing health protocols in checkpoints within Metro Manila and other tasks. He said the Army is committed to support the government's efforts to contain the virus. Meanwhile, the Manila International Airport Authority temporarily banned entry of passengers and non-airport employees into the Ninoy Aquino International Airport terminals effective immediately. Sending off and meeting passengers inside the NAIA terminal will not be allowed, a move which aims to strengthen the government's efforts to contain the spread of the COVID-19. In other news, the Presidential Communications Operations Office, in partnership with the state-run People's Television Network, is working on a program that will help address questions and concerns by the public and clarify government reports on COVID-19 situation in the country. The 30-minute television radio program Laging Handa Public Briefing will air on weekdays starting 11:30 a.m. Monday. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Lid Kabagani.
Still to come, those who want to get tested and quarantined for COVID-19 may do so for free. And the health department sees 80% recovery rate for those who contracted the coronavirus disease. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Sa matinding laban natin sa Coronavirus Disease 2019, sugpuin din natin ang pagkalat ng fake news. Huwag magbahagi ng impormasyon na hindi tiyak ang pinagmulan. I-check mabuti ang source ng balita. Kumuha lamang ng impormasyon mula sa mga official channel ng Department of Health. Huwag magpadala sa maling balita, basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Pangalagaan ang sarili laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Hanggat maaari, umiwas sa mataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang ilong at bibig, maging malinis sa katawan at ugaliin ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay. Takpan ang ilong at bibig kung uubo o babahing. Umiwas sa mga taong nagpapakita ng sintomas ng coronavirus disease gaya ng lagnat, ubo at sipon. Magsuot ng face mask kung kinakailangan. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Filipinos suspected of being infected with the new coronavirus disease may now get tested free of charge. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles announced that the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, will shoulder COVID-19 testing costs as well as quarantine and isolation costs. The cost of getting COVID-19 tests has long been a topic of concern, with many fearing the medical expenses more than the virus itself. Nograles said PhilHealth was already formalizing and operationalizing the new benefit. Health Secretary Francisco Duque says 80% of the confirmed cases of coronavirus disease 2019 have mild symptoms. In a radio interview, Duque said that 80% has a big chance to recover. The 15% are moderate to severe, and the remaining 3 to 5% are critical, which needs medical attention. Duque explained that the recovery period may take 2 to 3 weeks for patients with mild symptoms, while those with severe to critical symptoms may take 3 to 6 weeks to recover. Those who have recovered are advised to still undergo self-monitoring, as an infected individual may pass on the disease to an average of 3 persons. Duque said all persons in Metro Manila are already considered persons under monitoring, or PUM, since Code Red Sublevel 2 is raised over the area. Those with mild sickness are urged to do home quarantine. Proper hand hygiene, cough etiquette, social distancing, and prudent use of facial or surgical masks are a must to contain the virus. Anti-COVID-19 measures continue to be in place in the provinces as local government units or LGUs initiate their own versions of the quarantine implemented in Metro Manila. Joyce Cudis with more.
Employees at the city government of Iloilo observed social distancing on Monday, March 16, as the city undergoes a general community quarantine. The meeting tackled, among others, measures on how to maintain the city hall operations amid the threat of COVID-19. The general community quarantine takes effect until April 14, which will restrict the entry of persons. In Davao City, the government established an operations center on Saturday, which will solely cater to individuals with possible symptoms of the 2019 coronavirus disease. Mayor Sara Duterte said the option will cater for 24 hours in preparation for a possible influx of patients. Duterte urged the public to call the hotlines if they have a fever of more than 38 degrees, colds, cough, and sore throat. The provincial government of Aurora has temporarily barred the entry of tourists and non-residents. Governor Christian Noveras also imposed on Sunday a temporary suspension of all tourism activities in the province. Meanwhile, tour guides, hotel and resort owners, and managers are directed not to receive or book guests. In Bulacan, Governor Daniel Fernando has extended the class suspension in all levels, both public and private schools, from March 10 to April 14. School officials and administrators are instructed to immediately sanitize and enhance the cleanliness in the school surroundings and facilities. Students must be prevented from entering school premises and going to crowded places. Likewise, measures such as transitioning to online classes whenever possible or home assignments to satisfy the academic requirements must be adopted. In Legazpi City, the authorities on Sunday declared expanded curfew hours as a preemptive health measure. Effective Sunday, a daily 8-hour curfew would be implemented from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Selected establishments operating in the city are encouraged to end their business operations by 8 p.m. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Cudis.
In business, amendments may be made by the Bureau of Internal Revenue for income tax return filing following the declaration of community quarantine for Metro Manila. However, the deadline remains on April 15. Finance Chief Carlos Dominguez III said they cannot adjust the ITR filing deadline because it is in the law. He explained that the government can allow amendment of returns without payment of interest, subject to certain conditions like no variance of more than 25%. This will be in line with the Security and Exchange Commission's extension of deadline of filing of audited financial statement of 60 days. The BIR last week encouraged taxpayers to file their 2019 income tax online instead of going to the various BIR offices to limit their exposure to COVID-19. Oil firms are slashing fuel prices at least 4 pesos per liter. Flying V and Petron will cut diesel and gasoline prices by 4 pesos per liter and kerosene by 4 pesos and 25 cents per liter. Petrogas, Sea Oil, and Shell will roll back diesel and gasoline prices by 4 pesos and 25 centavos per liter. Sea Oil and Shell will also cut prices of kerosene by 4 pesos and 35 cents per liter. The big-time oil price rollback takes effect this week. Up next, a mom expresses her anxiety as her activist daughter is still out amid COVID-19 threat. And the AFP and PNP are manning the checkpoints as part of government efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang mga dapat gawin sa lugar ng trabaho laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ang mga kumpanya ay dapat magbigay ng face mask sa kanilang mga empleyado. Bukod dito, magbigay kaalaman din patungkol sa COVID-19. Siguraduhin malinis ang kapaligiran. Maglagay ng sabon at hand sanitizer sa mga palikuran. Siguraduhin ligtas at nalutong maigi ang mga pagkain sa kantina. Obserbahan ang kalusugan ng mga empleyado at katrabaho. Kung sakali man na mayroon silang sintomas ng coronavirus disease, gaya ng lagnat, ubot sipon at hirap sa paghinga, ay agad ipasuri sa doktor. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The mother of a student activist expressed anxiety about her child's condition and the risks she might get into amid the threat of the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19. Relisa Lucena, mother of Alicia Jasper, AJ, asked whether their recruited children are taken care of and protected from the virus. She notes that her child is prone to tonsillitis infection. She said she and the rest of the parents whose children were allegedly recruited by militant groups are worrying, especially that the contagious disease is hitting the country. Lucena has been repeatedly posting stuff about her daughter, AJ, in an attempt to reconnect with her. Lucena is a member of Hands Off Our Children, a group of parents whose children were allegedly recruited by alleged front organizations of the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army. The group campaigns against the recruitment activities of radical militant youth groups. Having the police and the military man the checkpoints to enforce the month-long community quarantine of Metro Manila is part of the whole-of-government approach to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the country. AFP spokesperson Edgar Arevalo made this clarification after some sectors criticized the deployment of security troops to address a health problem. Arevalo said all agencies of government take part in stopping the spread of COVID-19. He says the measures outlined by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases have to be enforced diligently, otherwise they will become a law and order problem, not just a health issue. He said deployment of troops with the Department of Health includes military doctors, nurses, and aid men carrying health and diagnostic equipment aboard ambulances. As an institution tasked by the Constitution to protect the people and the state, Arevalo said the AFP is prepared to respond to pandemics like COVID-19. In our foreign news, members of the United Filipino Global in Europe demanded the arrest of CPP founder Jose Maria Sison. The group condemned Sison's involvement in the so-called Inupacan massacre, a mass purging perpetrated by the CPP armed wing, New People's Army, in the 1980s. In a picket rally held in front of the Dutch Parliament House, the Netherlands, on March 10, they also denounced the 51 years of terrorism of the NPA, alleged recruitment of child warriors, and reported killing of indigenous peoples leaders in the Philippines. Sison, his wife Juliet, former National Democratic Front of the Philippines peace negotiator, along with 36 others, were ordered arrested by the Manila Regional Trial Court on August 28, 2019. The mass purging killed an estimated 300 residents. Charges were filed after the skeletal remains of 67 victims were exhumed from shallow graves in Inupacan Town, Leyte, on August 28, 2006. Guimaras Province reiterates its commitment to prioritize public health as it announced that it is not holding this year's Manggahan Festival. The provincial government also suspended the entry or tours or guests from Metro Manila and other areas that may be affected by the dreaded virus. Executive Order 32 was signed by Guimaras Governor Samuel Gumarin last Friday as part of measures to contain the disease. The event this year was supposedly scheduled on May 11 to 22. Gumarin also ordered that residents who came from Metro Manila and other areas that have local COVID-19 transmissions must undergo mandatory self-quarantine for 20 days under the supervision of the Rural Health Unit concerned. The Pagtaltal sa Balaan Bukid, an annual event held in Jordan, Guimaras every Good Friday, is also cancelled. The official announcement was released by the Pagtaltal sa Balaan Bukid Foundation Incorporated in coordination with the provincial government of Guimaras on Monday. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. The Bureau of Immigration calls on the public to stop spreading misinformation amidst the coronavirus disease 2019 outbreak. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar mulls the creation of safe house for media workers. The Department of Health sees 80% recovery rate for those who contracted the coronavirus disease. And a mom is anxious about her activist daughter amid the threat of COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more news about the government, how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's a daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am Rom Dulfo. Good day.